Maya Brooks thought she had thick skin until she overheard the event planner at the Grand Ashford Hotel casually dismiss her as not elegant enough for his ballroom. Black, curvy, and utterly humiliated, she stood frozen in that hallway, rage and shame burning through her chest. But instead of walking away, she did something bold. She walked into that same ballroom 30 minutes later, in a red gown that made the entire room go silent, and forced the man who insulted her to face exactly what he'd thrown away. What happened next wasn't just an apology. It was a reckoning. Subscribe and comment below if you've ever had to prove your worth to someone who underestimated you, because this story is about to get real. The late afternoon sun streamed through the tall windows of the Grand Ashford Hotel, casting golden light across the marble floor. Maya Brooks pushed through the revolving door, her arms full. A garment bag hung over one shoulder, a small box of accessories pressed against her chest. Her leather tote swung from her other arm. She wore dark jeans and a cream blouse. Simple, professional. Her natural curls were pulled back in a low bun. She'd learned years ago that when you showed up to deliver styling services, you didn't compete with the client. You let your work speak. The lobby smelled like expensive flowers and fresh coffee. Chandeliers hung overhead like frozen fireworks. Maya had been in plenty of nice hotels before, but this one felt different, older, more traditional, the kind of place where everything had a rule. She walked toward the front desk and spotted Paige, the receptionist she'd been emailing with all week. Paige was young, maybe 27, with bright eyes and a smile that seemed permanently in place. "Maya, you made it!" Paige waved her over. "Let me grab your event pass real quick. I left it upstairs with the planner's office. Be right back." "No problem." Maya set the garment bag carefully across a bench and rolled her shoulders. It had been a long drive across town. Paige disappeared through a door marked "Staff Only." Maya stood there, glancing around. A couple in evening wear walked past, probably heading to an early dinner. A bellhop wheeled a cart of luggage toward the elevators. Everything moved like clockwork. Then she heard the voices. The staff door hadn't closed all the way. Maya could see a slice of hallway through the gap, and she could hear two men talking. "I just want to make sure we're keeping the guest list cohesive." The first voice was smooth, confident. "This room has a certain standard." "Right, yeah." The second voice was younger, nervous. "What about the Johnsons? They RSVP'd late." "They're fine, but we need to be careful. Sometimes black and curvy doesn't read elegant in this room. You know what I mean? We want everything to feel polished." Maya's hand froze on the strap of her tote. Her heartbeat picked up, slow at first, then faster. She knew that feeling, the tightness in her chest, the heat creeping up her neck. She'd heard versions of those words before, from an ex-boyfriend who told her to dress down at his company parties, from a college advisor who suggested she'd fit better in a different major, from 1,000 tiny moments that added up to the same message. "You don't belong here." She took a breath, held it, let it out slowly. The younger voice mumbled something she couldn't hear. Then footsteps. The door swung open wider, and Paige came back through, holding a laminated badge on a lanyard. "Here you go." Paige's smile faltered when she saw Maya's face. "You okay?" Maya forced her expression smooth. "I'm fine. Just tired." Paige tilted her head. Her voice dropped. "Did you hear something?" Maya looked at her. Paige's eyes were wide. Guilty. "Who was that talking?" Maya asked quietly. Paige bit her lip. "That was Lucas Hayes. He's the lead event planner. He runs most of the big functions here." Maya nodded. She didn't trust herself to say anything else. Paige leaned in a little. "Look, I don't know what you heard, but Lucas isn't a bad guy. He's just particular about everything. The flowers, the lighting, the guest list. He wants things perfect." "Particular." Maya's voice was flat. "That's one word for it." Paige winced. "I'm sorry." "Not your fault." Maya picked up the garment bag and slung it back over her shoulder. "Where's the restroom?" "Down that hall. First door on the left." Maya walked away before Paige could say anything else. Her heels clicked against the marble. She kept her head up, her shoulders back. She would not cry in a hotel lobby. The restroom was empty, all white tile and soft lighting. Maya set the garment bag on the counter and gripped the edge of the sink. She stared at her reflection. A beautiful black woman stared back. Warm brown skin, full lips, strong cheekbones, curves that she'd spent years learning to love. She was 28 years old. She owned her own consulting business. She had clients who trusted her eye and paid her well. She had a sister who loved her. She had friends, she had a life. And yet, one sentence from a stranger, and she was right back in that old shame, That old question. Am I too much or not enough? Maya closed her eyes. She thought about her mama, who used to say, "Baby, elegance is how you carry yourself, not what size dress you wear." She thought about Tessa, her older sister, who would tell her to walk out right now and never look back. But Maya wasn't a quitter. She opened her eyes, looked at herself again, and made a decision. She would not let some man with a narrow mind take up space in her head. Not today, not ever. She washed her hands, dried them carefully, and walked back out into the hallway. Maya found Paige near the front desk again, looking worried. "Hey," Paige said softly. "You sure you're okay?" "I'm fine." Maya pulled out her phone. "Let me check in with my client." She typed quickly. "Hey, just got to the hotel, ready when you are." The reply came back almost immediately. "So sorry, traffic is terrible. Going to be at least another 30 min. Can you wait?" Maya stared at the screen. 30 minutes, maybe more. Her client was supposed to wear the outfit tonight. That was the plan. Maya would hand it off, make sure everything fit right, and leave before the event started. But now, she typed back, "No problem. I'll be here." Paige was watching her. "Client running late?" "Yeah." Maya slipped her phone back into her tote. "It's fine. You want some water or something, coffee?" "I'm good." Maya glanced toward the staff hallway. "That guy, Lucas, does he always talk like that?" Paige shifted her weight. "He's not mean, I promise. He's just been raised in this world, you know, where everything has to look a certain way. His mom used to run events here too. It's like tradition." Maya wanted to laugh. Tradition? As if that made it okay. "Does he know I heard him?" she asked. "I don't think so." Paige hesitated. "Do you want me to say something?" "No." Maya's voice was firm. "Don't say anything." Paige nodded, but she still looked uncomfortable. Maya walked toward the tall windows that overlooked the valet area. She could see her car parked near the front, a silver sedan, practical, reliable. She thought about getting in it and driving away, but then she remembered something. 2 weeks ago, she'd had a client cancel an event at the last minute. Maya had already bought a dress for it, a red evening gown, bold and beautiful. She'd planned to wear it herself, just to see how it felt, but the event fell through, and the dress had been hanging in her closet ever since. That dress was in her car, right now, in the trunk. Maya's pulse quickened. She could leave. She could hand off the garment bag to Paige and disappear. Go home, forget this whole day. Or she could walk into that ballroom tonight and show Lucas Hayes exactly what elegance looked like. She pulled out her phone again and texted Tessa. "You won't believe what I just heard. Some guy at this hotel basically said, 'Black and curvy doesn't look elegant.' I'm about to do something crazy." Tessa's reply came fast. "What kind of crazy?" Maya smiled for the first time since she'd arrived. "The red dress kind." Tessa sent back 3 fire emojis and a single word, "Go." Maya turned away from the window. She walked back to Paige. "I need to run out to my car for a second," Maya said. "Can you hold on to this?" She gestured to the garment bag. "Of course." Paige took it carefully. "You coming back?" "Oh, I'm coming back." Maya's smile was small but steady. "Trust me." The trunk of her car smelled like leather cleaner and the faint scent of her favorite perfume. Maya lifted the garment bag that held the red dress and draped it over her arm. She grabbed the shoebox underneath it. Matching heels. Strappy. Stunning. She stood there for a moment, the late afternoon sun warm on her shoulders. This was impulsive, maybe even reckless, but it felt right. She wasn't doing this to prove anything to Lucas Hayes. She was doing it to prove something to herself, that she belonged anywhere she chose to be. Maya closed the trunk and walked back into the hotel. Paige's eyes went wide when she saw the second garment bag. "Wait, is there a place I can change?" Maya asked. Paige grinned. "There's a powder room off the main lobby. It's private. Fancy. You'll love it." "Perfect." Paige handed her a key card. "It's locked during events, but this'll get you in. Take your time." "Thank you." Maya meant it. She walked down a quieter hallway, away from the main lobby. The powder room was exactly as Paige described. Soft lighting, a long mirror, a velvet bench, fresh flowers on the counter. Maya locked the door behind her and set everything down carefully. She unzipped the garment bag and pulled out the red dress. It was stunning, a deep, rich red, the kind of color that demanded attention. The neckline was elegant, but not too low. The fabric hugged her curves in all the right places. The skirt flowed when she moved. She'd bought it on sale, but it looked like $1 million. Maya stepped out of her jeans and blouse. She slipped the dress over her head and adjusted it in the mirror. It fit perfectly. She added the heels. Then she pulled the pins from her bun and let her curls fall loose around her shoulders. She fluffed them with her fingers until they framed her face just right. Makeup. She didn't need much. A little more lipstick, some highlighter on her cheekbones, a touch of mascara. She stepped back and looked at herself. The woman in the mirror looked like she belonged on a red carpet. Confident, radiant, powerful. Maya's phone buzzed. A text from her client. Still stuck in traffic. "I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule?" Maya smiled and typed back. "Don't worry about it. I've got it covered." She pulled a small bottle of perfume from her tote and dabbed it on her wrists. Her mama's favorite scent. Vanilla and jasmine. There was a knock on the door. Paige's voice came through. "Maya, the ballroom's filling up. Just wanted to give you a heads up." "Thanks," Maya called back. "I'll be out in a minute." She took one last look in the mirror. Her heart was pounding, but not from fear, from anticipation. She thought about what Lucas had said. Sometimes black and curvy doesn't read elegant in this room. Well, he was about to learn something new. Maya unlocked the door and stepped into the hallway. Paige was waiting, and when she saw Maya, her jaw dropped. "Oh my God," Paige whispered. "You look incredible." "Thank you." Maya's voice was steady. "He's going to lose his mind." "That's the idea," Paige grinned. "Go get him." Maya walked toward the ballroom. The sound of music and conversation grew louder. She could see the open doors ahead. Soft light spilled out into the hallway. People in elegant clothes moved inside like a living painting. She paused just outside the entrance, took a breath, lifted her chin, and then she walked in. The ballroom was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. White tablecloths covered round tables. Fresh flowers sat in tall vases. Servers in black vests moved smoothly between guests, carrying trays of champagne and appetizers. The room was full, maybe 100 people, all dressed in their finest, suits and gowns, jewelry that caught the light. Laughter and low conversation filled the space. Maya stepped inside, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then someone looked, then someone else. Conversations dipped. A woman near the door whispered something to her companion. A man in a tuxedo turned to stare. Maya kept walking, slowly, gracefully, like she'd done this 1,000 times. She wasn't nervous, not anymore. She was exactly where she was supposed to be. A server approached with a tray of champagne. Maya took a glass and thanked him. He smiled at her like she was someone important. 2 women near the center of the room were whispering. One of them caught Maya's eye and nodded, clearly impressed. "That dress," one of them said, just loud enough to hear. "Stunning." Maya smiled and kept moving. She found a spot near the champagne table where she could see most of the room. And then she saw him. Lucas Hayes stood across the ballroom near a cluster of round tables. He was tall, maybe 6'1". He wore a perfectly tailored navy suit. His hair was dark and neat. His posture was straight. He looked like someone who'd never had to fight for a seat at the table. He was reviewing something on a tablet, his expression serious, professional. Then he looked up, and he saw her. Maya watched his face change. Recognition first, then confusion, then something that looked a lot like guilt. He knew. He knew she was the woman who'd been in the hallway, and he knew she'd heard him. Lucas set the tablet down and started walking toward her. He moved quickly, weaving through the guests. His expression was hard to read, not angry, not embarrassed. Something in between. Maya stood her ground. She took a sip of champagne and waited. He stopped a few feet away. Up close, she could see his eyes were grey, sharp, intelligent. Right now, they were full of something close to panic. "I think I owe you an apology," he said. His voice was the same one she'd heard in the hallway, smooth, confident. But now it carried an edge of uncertainty. Maya looked at him, really looked at him. She didn't smile, didn't make it easy. "You think?" she said. Lucas exhaled. He glanced around, aware that people were watching. Then he looked back at her. "Can we talk?" he asked. "Please?" Maya set her champagne glass on the table behind her. She folded her arms, careful not to wrinkle the dress. "You said what you said," she told him. "I heard it. So what exactly do you want to apologize for?" He flinched, just a little, but she saw it. "I didn't know you were there," he said. "Would it have mattered?" "Yes." His voice was firm. "It would have." Maya raised an eyebrow. "So you only say things like that when you think no one's listening?" Lucas opened his mouth, closed it. He looked genuinely uncomfortable now. "Good. I was trying to explain the aesthetic I wanted for tonight," he said carefully. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. How did you mean it? He hesitated. You meant that someone who looks like me doesn't fit your idea of elegance. Maya's voice was calm. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't crying. She was just stating a fact. That's what you said. Black and curvy doesn't read elegant, so what part of that am I misunderstanding? A woman at a nearby table turned to listen. Lucas noticed. His jaw tightened. You're right, he said quietly. I said it, and I was wrong. Maya blinked. She hadn't expected that. I was wrong, Lucas repeated. And I'm sorry. Not because you heard me, because I said it in the first place. There was something in his voice now. Something real. Maya studied his face. He looked miserable, but not defensive. That was new. I'm Maya Brooks, she said. I'm a fashion consultant. I was here to drop off a look for a client. That's why I was in the hallway. Lucas Hayes. He extended his hand. After a moment, she shook it. His grip was firm but not aggressive. I run events here, and I clearly need to rethink how I run them. Maya let go of his hand. You can't just rethink it. You have to change it. I know. A server passed by with a tray of hors d'oeuvres. Lucas waved him off. He was still focused on Maya. Let me make this right, he said. I don't know how yet, but I want to. Maya tilted her head. Why? Because you were right to walk into this room and prove me wrong. He gestured around them. You're the most elegant person here. It was a good line, maybe too good. Maya didn't let it land. Compliments won't fix this, she said. I've heard nice words from men who didn't mean them. What matters is what you do when no one's watching, when it's not convenient, when it's your family or your colleagues saying something ignorant, and you have to decide whether to speak up. Lucas nodded slowly. You're right. I know I am. A voice called his name from across the room. A man in a grey suit waved him over, looking impatient. Lucas glanced back at Maya. Can we talk more? After I deal with that. 5 minutes, please. Maya considered. She could walk away right now. She'd made her point. She'd proven what she needed to prove. But something in his face made her pause. He looked like someone who genuinely wanted to learn. 5 minutes, she said. I'm not here to be fixed. I know. Lucas stepped back, still looking at her. Thank you. He turned and walked toward the man in the grey suit. Maya watched him go. Paige appeared at her elbow, grinning like she'd just won the lottery. That was amazing, Paige whispered. Did you see his face? I thought he was going to pass out. Maya smiled despite herself. He looked pretty shocked. Shocked is an understatement. Paige handed her a fresh glass of champagne. You're officially the talk of the room. I didn't come here to be talked about. Too late. Paige nodded toward a woman in a silver gown who was openly staring at Maya with admiration. That's Mrs. Calloway. She basically funds half the events here, and she's pointing you out to her friends. Maya glanced over. The woman caught her eye and raised her glass in a small toast. Maya smiled and returned the gesture. See, Paige said, you belong here, and now everyone knows it. Maya took a sip of champagne. It was cold and crisp and tasted like victory. I'm going to find a quiet spot, she said. Let me know when Lucas is free. Will do. Maya walked toward the far side of the ballroom, where tall windows overlooked the city. The sun was setting now, casting everything in shades of gold and pink. She stood there watching the light change and allowed herself to feel proud. She'd walked into a room that told her she didn't belong, and she'd made it hers. 10 minutes later, Paige found Maya near the windows and nodded toward a side door. He's waiting for you. In the lounge. Maya followed her through a quiet hallway. The noise from the ballroom faded. They stopped at a door marked Private Lounge. Paige pushed it open. I'll be at the front desk if you need me, Paige said softly. Thank you. Maya stepped inside. The lounge was smaller than she expected. Soft lighting, leather chairs arranged around a low table. A painting of the hotel from decades ago hung on the wall. It smelled like old books and expensive cologne. Lucas stood when she entered. He'd removed his jacket. His sleeves were rolled up to his elbows. He looked less polished now, more human. Thank you for coming, he said. Maya sat in one of the chairs. Lucas sat across from her, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. I meant what I said out there, he began. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. I heard you the first time. I know, but I need you to understand something. He paused, choosing his words carefully. I grew up in this hotel. My mother ran events here for 20 years. I learned everything from her. How to arrange a table, how to pick flowers, how to make a room feel expensive. And part of that, he stopped, rubbed his jaw. Part of that was learning what looked right, what fit, and I never questioned it. I just accepted it. Maya watched him, waited. That's not an excuse, Lucas continued. It's an explanation. I've spent my whole life thinking there's one way to do elegance, one look, one standard, and when you walked into that ballroom tonight, you proved me wrong in about 30 seconds. I wasn't trying to prove anything to you, Maya said quietly. I was proving it to myself. Lucas nodded. That's what makes it even worse. You shouldn't have had to. You should have been able to walk into any room in this hotel and feel welcome. Instead, I made you feel like you had to earn it. Maya's chest tightened. She hadn't expected him to understand that part. I've heard versions of what you said my whole life, she told him. From men who loved me in private, but didn't want to be seen with me in public. From people who assumed I was in the wrong place just because I didn't look like them. I built a whole business teaching people how to be confident in their own style. And then I walked into your hallway and heard the same old garbage. I'm sorry. His voice was raw. I'm really sorry. Words are easy, Maya said. Changing how you think, that's harder. I know. Lucas sat back. So tell me how. Tell me what I need to do. Maya studied him. His grey eyes were steady. He wasn't defensive. He wasn't making excuses. He was listening. You start by questioning everything you think you know about elegance, she said. About beauty, about who belongs in rooms like this. You stop assuming that your way is the only way, and when you see someone who doesn't fit your old standard, you ask yourself why that is. Is it them, or is it you? Lucas absorbed this. What if I don't always get it right? Then you apologize, and you keep trying. Fair enough. They sat in silence for a moment. Outside the lounge, footsteps passed by in the hallway. Someone laughed. The sounds of the event continued without them. Can I ask you something? Lucas said. Go ahead. Why did you stay? After you heard what I said, why didn't you just leave? Maya considered the question. She thought about Tessa, about her mama, about every woman who'd ever been told she was too much or not enough. Because I refused to shrink myself for anyone, she said simply. I spent too many years trying to fit into spaces that didn't want me. I'm done with that. If a room doesn't want me, that's the room's problem, not mine. Lucas smiled. A real smile this time. I like that. You should. A knock on the door interrupted them. A young man in a vest poked his head in. Mr. Hayes, they need you for the toast. Lucas stood. I'll be right there. He looked at Maya. Will you still be here when I'm done? Maybe. She wasn't going to make it easy. I hope so. He left. Maya stayed in the lounge, finishing her champagne. She pulled out her phone and saw 3 texts from Tessa. How's it going? Did you wear the dress? Maya, answer me. She smiled and typed back. I wore the dress. He apologized. We talked. I don't know what happens next. Tessa's reply was immediate. Do you want something to happen next? Maya stared at the question. Did she? She thought about Lucas, about the way he'd listened, about the fact that he didn't try to defend himself or make excuses. He'd just owned it. That was rare. She typed back. I don't know yet. He seems genuine, but I've been wrong before. Tessa sent back a heart emoji. Trust your gut. And text me if you need an exit strategy. Maya slipped her phone back into her small clutch. She stood and smoothed her dress. Then she walked back toward the ballroom. The event was in full swing now. The toast must have happened while she was in the lounge. Guests were dancing. The music was louder. Laughter echoed off the high ceilings. Maya found a spot near the edge of the dance floor. She watched couples spin and sway. An older man dipped his wife, and she laughed like a teenager. A younger couple moved awkwardly, clearly still learning. There you are. Maya turned. Lucas was beside her, hands in his pockets. Did the toast go well? She asked. I think so. I was distracted. By what? Wondering if you'd left. Maya's lips curved into a small smile. I'm still here. I see that. He hesitated. Can I get you another drink? I'm fine. Can I? He stopped, looked uncertain. Can I just stand here with you? I promise not to say anything stupid. Maya laughed. Actually laughed. That's a low bar. I know. He smiled. But I'm working on it. They stood together watching the dancers. It should have been awkward, but somehow it wasn't. After a while, Lucas spoke again. I have a VIP dinner in 2 days. Small event. Maybe 30 people. High-profile guests. I usually plan everything myself, but I could use a second opinion. Maya glanced at him. On what? Everything. The look. The feel. I want to make sure I don't make the same mistakes. He paused. I'll pay your professional rate. You want to hire me? Yes. Maya turned to face him fully. Why? Because you know what I don't. You see things I've been blind to. And if I'm going to change how I run events, I need someone who'll call me out when I'm wrong. It was a smart answer. Maybe too smart. I don't want to be your conscience. Maya said. Or you're proof that you're a good person. If you hire me, it's because you value my work, not because you feel guilty. I do value your work, Lucas said. I saw what you brought for your client tonight. The styling was flawless, and the way you put yourself together, he gestured at her. You understand elegance better than anyone I've ever met. So yes, I want to hire you. Not because I feel guilty, because you're the best. Maya felt something shift in her chest. Not trust, not yet, but something close to possibility. I'll think about it, she said. That's all I'm asking. A woman in a gold gown approached them. She was older, maybe 55. She had sharp eyes and expensive jewelry. Her posture was perfect. Lucas, she said warmly, aren't you going to introduce me? Lucas's expression shifted, just slightly. Mother, this is Maya Brooks. She's a fashion consultant. Maya, this is Eleanor Hayes. Eleanor extended her hand. Maya shook it. The woman's grip was firm. A consultant, Eleanor said, her tone pleasant but measuring. How lovely. Are you working tonight? Not exactly, Maya said. I was supposed to drop off a look for a client. She couldn't make it, so I stayed. How fortunate for us. Eleanor's smile was polite. Nothing more. That dress is quite striking. Thank you. There was a pause. Eleanor glanced at Lucas. The Montgomerys are asking for you. Something about the seating. I'll be right there. Lucas looked at Maya. Will you excuse me? Of course. He left. Eleanor stayed. Maya braced herself. She'd met women like Eleanor before. Women who smiled while they measured you, who asked questions that sounded kind, but weren't. So you're a consultant, Eleanor said again. Do you work with the hotel often? This is my first time here. I see. Eleanor glanced around the room. Lucas has very high standards. He learned that from me. We've always believed that events like this should feel cohesive, polished. Every detail matters. Maya heard the subtext. You don't fit the details we usually choose, but she kept her voice calm. I agree. Every detail matters. That's why I love my job. Helping people find their own version of elegance. Eleanor's smile tightened. Just a little. Their own version. How interesting. It is. Maya met her gaze steadily. Because elegance isn't one size fits all. It's about confidence. About knowing who you are and carrying that into every room. Eleanor studied her. You're very well spoken. For someone like you. The unspoken words hung in the air. Thank you, Maya said simply. Eleanor nodded. Well, enjoy the evening. She walked away, her gold gown shimmering under the lights. Maya exhaled. She felt the familiar weight settle on her shoulders, the weight of being watched, judged, found lacking by people who didn't even know her. Paige appeared at her side. Was that Mrs. Hayes? Yes. What did she say? The polite version of what Lucas said in the hallway. Paige winced. She's not mean. She's just traditional. I know. Maya had heard that word before too. Traditional. As if cruelty was more acceptable when it wore a nice dress. You okay? Paige asked. I'm fine. Maya straightened her shoulders. I'm going to get some air. The balcony's through those doors. Paige pointed. It's quiet. Hardly anyone goes out there during events. Perfect. Maya walked toward the glass doors. She stepped outside into the cool evening air. The balcony overlooked the city. Lights twinkled in the distance. The sounds of traffic were faint. Up here it was peaceful. Maya leaned against the railing and closed her eyes. She thought about leaving, going home, forgetting this whole night. But something stopped her. Lucas's apology had felt real. His offer to hire her felt genuine. But Eleanor's polite coldness reminded her that one conversation didn't change a lifetime of conditioning. If Lucas wanted to prove he'd changed, he'd have to do it in front of people like his mother, not just when it was easy. Footsteps behind her. Maya turned. Lucas stepped onto the balcony. He'd put his jacket back on, his tie was loosened. Paige said you were out here, he said. I needed air. He joined her at the railing. For a moment they just stood there. My mother can be intense, Lucas said carefully. She doesn't like me. She doesn't know you. She doesn't want to. Maya looked at him. She thinks I don't fit, just like you did. Lucas winced. She's from a different generation. That's not an excuse. I know. He rubbed the back of his neck. I'm not defending her. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. You can't fix her, Maya said. You can only fix you. Then tell me how. Maya turned to face him fully. The city lights reflected in his grey eyes. You said you want to hire me, she said. Fine, but if I work with you, you don't get to defend me to staff and then tone it down around your family. You don't get to make me feel valued in private and invisible in public. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. Lucas held her gaze. I'll take it. I'm serious, Lucas. So am I. His voice was firm. You're right. I can't ask you to help me change if I'm not willing to back you up when it's uncomfortable. I get that, and I'll do better. Maya wanted to believe him, but belief required proof. We'll see, she said. Fair enough. They stood in silence. The wind picked up, and Maya shivered. Lucas started to take off his jacket, but she stopped him. I'm fine. You're cold. I'll go inside in a minute. He nodded but didn't move. After a moment, he spoke again. Can I tell you something? He asked. Go ahead. I've been running events here for 5 years. I've planned weddings and galas and corporate dinners. I've worked with designers and florists and chefs, and I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I had it figured out. He paused. But tonight, watching you walk into that ballroom, I realized I've been doing it wrong. Not just the aesthetic, everything. I've been so focused on making things look perfect that I forgot to make them feel welcoming, and that's on me. Maya didn't say anything. She just listened. So if you decide to work with me, Lucas continued, I want you to know it's not charity, it's not guilt. It's because I genuinely want to learn, and I think you're the person who can teach me. Maya looked at him, really looked at him. His face was open, honest, vulnerable in a way that surprised her. I'll do the VIP dinner, she said. One event, we'll see how it goes. Lucas's relief was visible. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I'm expensive. He laughed, actually laughed. I'm sure you are. Maya smiled despite herself. Send me the details tomorrow. I'll review them and let you know what needs to change. Deal. They walked back inside together. The ballroom was still full, still loud, still beautiful. Maya found Paige near the coat check. I'm heading out, Maya said. Already? Paige looked disappointed. It's been a long night, but a good one. Maya thought about it, about Lucas's apology, about Eleanor's coldness, about the way the room had looked at her when she walked in. Yeah, she said finally. A good one. Paige grinned. Text me if you need anything. I will. Maya walked toward the lobby. Lucas caught up with her near the revolving door. Let me walk you out, he said. You don't have to. I know. They stepped outside together. The valet brought Maya's car around. Lucas opened the door for her. I'll send you the details tomorrow morning, he said. I'll be waiting. And Maya? He paused. Thank you for giving me a chance. Don't waste it, she said. I won't. Maya got into her car. She pulled away from the curb and glanced in the rearview mirror. Lucas was still standing there, watching her leave. She drove through the city streets, her mind racing. Part of her wanted to call Tessa immediately. Part of her wanted to sit with the night a little longer. When she got home, she changed out of the red dress and hung it carefully in her closet. She washed her face, made tea, sat on her couch in comfortable clothes. Then she texted Tessa. He wants to hire me. I said yes. I don't know if that's smart or stupid. Tessa called immediately. Tell me everything, she said. So Maya did. She told her about the overheard comment, about the red dress, about Lucas's apology, about Eleanor's polite coldness, about the deal she'd made. When she finished, Tessa was quiet for a moment. Do you like him? She asked. Maya hesitated. I don't know yet. I like that he apologized. I like that he didn't make excuses. But liking someone and trusting them are different things. True, Tessa paused. But you wouldn't have said yes if you didn't think there was something there. Maybe. Definitely. Tessa's voice softened. Just be careful, okay? You've been hurt before. I don't want to see that happen again. I know. Maya curled up on the couch. I'm keeping my guard up. Good, but also... Tessa stopped. Don't let your guard be so high that you miss something real. If he's genuine, give him a chance. If he's not, walk away. Trust your gut. I will. Love you, sis. Love you too. Maya hung up and stared at her phone. She thought about texting Lucas, asking him a question, making a joke, but she stopped herself. If he wanted to prove he'd changed, he could do it on his own time. She finished her tea and went to bed. The red dress hung in her closet like a victory flag. The next morning, Maya woke to an email from Lucas. It was professional, detailed. He'd outlined the VIP dinner, date, time, guest list, current plan. He asked for her thoughts on everything. At the end, he'd added a personal note. Thank you again for agreeing to work with me. I know I have a lot to prove. I'm ready to put in the work. Maya made coffee and read through the email carefully. The event was in 2 days. Small, intimate, high-profile guests. The kind of event where every detail mattered. She spent the morning reviewing his plan. The color palette was safe. The menu was predictable. The seating arrangement was fine, but not inspired. She opened a new document and started typing her notes. By noon, she'd sent him a detailed response. She suggested bolder colors, a more dynamic seating arrangement, small touches that would make the room feel warmer without losing elegance. She didn't hold back. If he wanted her eye, he'd get it. All of it. Lucas replied within an hour. This is exactly what I needed. Can we meet tomorrow to go over the changes in person? Maya smiled. 2 p.m. Hotel lobby. I'll be there. She closed her laptop and texted Tessa, meeting him tomorrow to plan the event. Wish me luck. Tessa sent back a string of emojis, a 4-leaf clover, a heart, a flame. Maya laughed and set her phone aside. She had work to do. The next afternoon, Maya walked into the Grand Ashford Hotel wearing dark slacks and a cream blazer. Professional, polished, ready. Paige waved from the front desk. He's waiting for you in the conference room, 2nd floor. Thanks. Maya took the stairs. When she reached the 2nd floor, she found the conference room easily. The door was open. Lucas sat at a long table with papers spread out in front of him. He looked up when she entered and his face brightened. You're here, he said, standing. I'm here. He pulled out a chair for her. Maya sat, setting her tote on the table. I read your notes, Lucas said, sitting across from her. 3 times. And you're right. About everything. The color palette was boring. The seating was predictable. I was playing it safe. Most people do, Maya said. They think safe equals elegant. But elegant doesn't mean boring. Agreed. Lucas pulled up a document on his laptop. So let's go through it. Tell me what you're thinking. They spent the next hour working through every detail. Maya suggested deep jewel tones instead of neutrals. Lucas agreed immediately. She proposed a circular seating arrangement instead of straight lines. He made notes. She suggested live music instead of recorded. He pulled up his contacts list. It was easy, natural, like they'd been working together for years instead of days. Halfway through, Paige brought in coffee. She grinned at Maya and gave her a thumbs up behind Lucas's back. When they finished, Lucas sat back and looked at the revised plan. This is going to be the best event I've ever done, he said. It better be, Maya teased. I don't work for free, he laughed. I'll have accounting send your invoice info. Good. They packed up their materials. As Maya stood to leave, Lucas spoke again. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you really say yes to working with me? Maya thought about it. She could give him the easy answer, the professional answer, but something made her tell the truth. Because I wanted to see if you meant it, she said. A lot of people apologize. Not everyone changes. I wanted to know which kind of person you are. Lucas nodded slowly. And what's the verdict so far? Still deciding. He smiled. Fair enough. Maya left the conference room and walked back through the hotel. As she passed the ballroom, she glanced inside. It was empty now, quiet. The chandeliers hung dark. 2 nights ago, she'd walked into that room in a red dress and changed something. Not just for Lucas, for herself. She'd reminded herself that she didn't need permission to be elegant. She already was. And now, working with Lucas, she'd see if he could learn the same lesson. She stepped outside into the afternoon sun, feeling lighter than she had in months. The day of the VIP dinner arrived faster than Maya expected. She spent the morning at home, reviewing her notes one last time. Color swatches, fabric samples, sketches of table arrangements. Everything had to be perfect, not for Lucas, for herself. She'd built her reputation on attention to detail, on making spaces feel warm and elegant at the same time. This event would be proof that her vision worked. Around 2 in the afternoon, she loaded her car with sample materials and drove to the hotel. The lobby was quieter than it had been during the gala. Mid-week, slower. She liked it better this way. Paige wasn't at the front desk. Instead, a young man with red hair greeted her. Can I help you? He asked. I'm here to meet Lucas Hayes. I'm working on tonight's event. Oh, you must be Maya. He said you'd be coming. He's in the staff room down that hall. 2nd door on the left. Thank you. Maya found the room easily. The door was open. Inside, Lucas stood at a large table covered in linens and centerpieces. He wore jeans and a white button-down with the sleeves rolled up. No tie, no jacket. He looked more relaxed than she'd ever seen him. He looked up when she entered. His face broke into a smile. You're here, he said. I'm here. She set her bag on the table. Ready to work? Absolutely. They spent the next 2 hours transforming the room. Maya showed him how to layer colors without overwhelming the space. Deep burgundy tablecloths with gold accents, white plates with dark napkins folded into elegant shapes, candles in brass holders, fresh flowers in low arrangements so guests could see each other across the tables. Lucas followed her lead. He asked questions. He listened. He didn't argue or try to take over. He just learned. At one point, they both reached for the same table runner. Their hands touched. Maya felt a spark, small but unmistakable. She pulled her hand back quickly. Lucas looked at her. "Sorry, it's fine." She busied herself with the fabric. They kept working. But the air felt different now, charged. Paige appeared in the doorway with bottles of water. "You two look good together," she said, grinning. Lucas cleared his throat. "Thanks for the water, Paige." "Any time." She winked at Maya and left. Maya took a sip of water and glanced at Lucas. His ears were slightly pink. She smiled despite herself. "She's not subtle," Maya said. "Never has been." They finished the setup by 5. Maya stepped back to look at the room. It was beautiful, warm, inviting, elegant without being cold. "This is perfect," Lucas said quietly. He stood beside her, hands in his pockets. "Thank you. You're welcome. I mean it. This is everything I wanted but didn't know how to create." He turned to look at her. "You're incredibly talented, Maya." She felt her cheeks warm. "I just did my job. It's more than that. You have a gift." Maya didn't know what to say. She wasn't used to compliments that felt genuine. That didn't come with strings attached. "The guests arrive at 7, Lucas said. "You should go home and change. Come back as my guest." Maya hesitated. "I wasn't planning to attend." "I know, but I'd like you to. You designed this. You should see it come to life." "Lucas, please." His voice was soft. "Let me show you that I mean it. That this isn't just about work." Maya studied his face. He looked sincere, hopeful, vulnerable. "Fine," she said. "But if someone treats me like staff, I'm leaving." "That won't happen. I promise. We'll see." Maya went home and stood in front of her closet for 10 minutes. She didn't want to wear the red dress again. That had been for a different moment, a different purpose. She pulled out a navy blue gown, elegant but understated. The neckline was modest, the fabric draped beautifully. She paired it with simple gold earrings and heels that didn't hurt. She kept her makeup natural, her hair soft. She wanted to look like herself, not a performance. Before she left, she called Tessa. "I'm going back," Maya said. "As his guest." Tessa was quiet for a moment. "Do you want to?" "I think so. I need to see if he means what he says." "Just be careful, Maya. You've been hurt before." "I know." Maya looked at herself in the mirror. "But I also don't want to miss something real because I'm scared." "Okay." Tessa's voice softened. "Text me if you need me." "I will. Love you." "Love you too." Maya grabbed her clutch and headed back to the hotel. When she arrived, the lobby was busy. Guests in formal wear moved toward the event space. Maya felt her stomach tighten. This was different from the gala. This was smaller, more intimate, harder to blend into. She walked toward the ballroom entrance. A staff member she didn't recognize stopped her. "Excuse me, miss, are you with catering?" Maya froze. Her heart sank. Before she could respond, Lucas appeared at her side. His voice was firm, clear. "She's with me," he said. "Maya designed tonight. She's my guest." The staff member's eyes went wide. "I'm so sorry, I didn't—" "It's fine," Lucas said, though his tone suggested it wasn't. "Just be more careful with assumptions." The man nodded quickly and stepped aside. Lucas turned to Maya. "I'm sorry about that. It's not your fault." "It is." He looked genuinely upset. "I should have told the whole staff you'd be here. I should have made it clear." Maya took a breath. "You're here now. That's what matters." Lucas offered his arm. After a moment, Maya took it. They walked into the ballroom together. The room looked even better with guests inside. Candlelight flickered. Conversations hummed. People moved gracefully between tables. The burgundy and gold palette made everything feel rich and warm. Several people turned to look at Maya and Lucas as they entered. She felt their eyes, their curiosity. Lucas didn't seem to notice, or if he did, he didn't care. He led her to the center of the room and introduced her to a couple in their 50s. "This is Maya Brooks," Lucas said. "She's the reason tonight looks like it does." The woman's face lit up. "It's gorgeous. I was just telling my husband that this is the warmest event the hotel has ever done." "Thank you," Maya said. They talked for a few minutes. The couple was kind, genuinely interested. When they moved on, Lucas introduced Maya to someone else, and then someone else. Each time he made it clear Maya wasn't staff, she wasn't a vendor, She was his guest, and she was the creative mind behind the event. Maya felt something loosen in her chest, something that had been tight since the first night. This was what she'd asked for: public alignment, respect, proof, and Lucas was delivering. Halfway through dinner, Eleanor Hayes arrived. She wore a silver gown and her signature pearls. She moved through the room like a queen, greeting guests with practiced grace. When she saw Maya sitting at Lucas's table, her expression shifted, just slightly. Surprise, maybe disapproval. She approached slowly. "Lucas," she said warmly, "the room looks lovely. Thank you. Maya designed it." Eleanor's eyes flicked to Maya. "Did she?" "Yes." Lucas's voice was steady, proud. "Every detail." Eleanor forced a smile. "How industrious." Maya kept her face neutral. She'd heard that tone before. Industrious. As if working for a living was something to be polite about but not impressed by. "It was a collaborative process," Maya said calmly. "Lucas had a strong vision. I just helped bring it to life." "How generous of you to say." Eleanor's smile didn't reach her eyes. Lucas stood. "Mother, can I talk to you for a moment?" Eleanor raised an eyebrow. "Of course." They stepped away from the table. Maya watched them move toward the far side of the room. She couldn't hear what they were saying, but she could see Eleanor's posture. Stiff, defensive. Lucas's hands moved as he spoke. He wasn't backing down. Maya's phone buzzed. A text from Paige. "He's defending you. I can hear it from here. Go, Lucas." Maya smiled despite herself. A few minutes later, Lucas and Eleanor returned. Eleanor's expression was carefully blank. She nodded at Maya. "It was nice to see you again," she said coolly. "You too." Eleanor left the table. Lucas sat back down beside Maya. He let out a long breath. "You okay?" Maya asked quietly. "Yeah, just needed to set some things straight." "What did you say?" Lucas looked at her. "I told her that you're incredibly talented, that I'm lucky to work with you, and that if she has a problem with you being here, she can take it up with me, not you." Maya's throat tightened. She hadn't expected that. "Thank you," she said softly. "You don't have to thank me. That's the bare minimum. It's more than most people do." Lucas reached across the table. His hand hovered near hers for a moment, then pulled back, like he wanted to touch her but wasn't sure if he should. "You deserve more than the bare minimum," he said. Maya held his gaze. Something passed between them, something warm and fragile and real. Before she could respond, a guest approached to compliment the centerpieces. The moment broke, but it stayed with her. After dinner, music filled the room. A live jazz trio played soft, sultry melodies. Guests moved to the dance floor. Couples swayed together under the warm lights. Lucas stood and offered Maya his hand. "Can I finally have that dance?" he asked. Maya looked at his hand, at his face, at the hope in his eyes. She thought about all the reasons she should say no. About her ex who danced with her in private, but ignored her in public. About the walls she'd built to protect herself. But she also thought about the way Lucas had stood up for her tonight. To staff, to his mother, to everyone. She took his hand. "Yes." They moved to the dance floor. Lucas placed one hand on her waist. She rested her hand on his shoulder. They swayed to the music, finding their rhythm. "You're a good dancer," Maya said. "My mother insisted on lessons when I was 12. I hated it then. And now I'm grateful." He smiled. "Because I get to dance with you." Maya rolled her eyes, but she was smiling. "That's corny." "I know, but it's true." They moved together easily, like they'd done this before. The room blurred around them. Other couples faded into the background. It was just the two of them. The music, the candlelight. "I need to tell you something," Lucas said quietly. "What?" "I've been thinking about what you said. About defending you to staff but not to family. About public alignment." He paused. "You were right. Apologizing wasn't enough. I needed to show you, and everyone else, that I meant it, that I wasn't ashamed or embarrassed, that I was proud." "Are you?" Maya asked. "Proud?" "Yes." His voice was firm. "I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to work with you. I'm proud to be dancing with you right now." Maya felt her chest tighten. "In a good way. That means a lot," she said. "I want you to know something else." "What?" "I don't just like what you can do for my events." He looked at her seriously. "I like you, the person, the woman who walked into my ballroom in a red dress and made me question everything I thought I knew, the woman who didn't let me off easy, who pushed me to be better." Maya's heart was racing now. "Lucas, I know it's fast," he said. "I know you have every reason not to trust me, but I wanted you to know. I want you, Maya." Not just what you can make my rooms look like. They stopped moving. Other couples danced around them, but Maya and Lucas stood still. Maya looked up at him, at his gray eyes, at the vulnerability in his face. She thought about running, about protecting herself, about all the times she'd been hurt before. But she also thought about courage, about taking risks, about the possibility that maybe, just maybe, this was different. I was afraid to trust you, she said quietly, because the first words I ever heard from you were designed to put me down, to make me feel small. I know. But your second words, and everything since, have been different. You've shown up, you've listened, you've changed, and that's rare. So where does that leave us? Lucas asked. Maya smiled, small, tentative, real. It leaves us dancing. Lucas's face broke into a grin. He pulled her a little closer. Not too close, just enough. They started moving again. The music swelled, the candles flickered, and for the first time in a long time, Maya let herself believe that maybe this was real. Later that night, after the event ended, Lucas walked Maya to her car. The city was quiet. The air was cool. Stars peeked through the light pollution. Tonight was perfect, Lucas said. It was pretty good, Maya agreed. Just pretty good? Don't let it go to your head. He laughed. They reached her car, and Maya unlocked it. But she didn't get in right away. Lucas, she said, I need you to understand something. Okay, I'm not going to shrink myself for you or for your mother or for anyone in your world. If we're going to do this, whatever this is, you don't get to make me smaller to fit anyone's idea of elegance, not even yours. Lucas looked at her seriously. I don't want you smaller. I like you exactly as you are. You say that now. But what happens when it's uncomfortable? When it's your mother's friends or your colleagues or people you need to impress? Then I'll still choose you, Lucas said firmly. I can't promise I'll get everything right. I'm still learning. But I can promise that I won't ask you to be anyone but yourself. And if I mess up, you can call me out, just like you did the first night. Maya studied his face. He meant it. She could see it in his eyes. Okay, she said, but we're taking this slow. No rushing. We get to know each other outside of events and fancy rooms in real life. Deal, Lucas smiled. Can I take you to dinner? Somewhere that's not the hotel? Yes, but nowhere too fancy. I want to see if you can be normal. He laughed. I can try. Maya opened her car door. Before she got in, Lucas caught her hand. Thank you, he said, for giving me a chance. Don't waste it, she said again. I won't. He lifted her hand and kissed it softly. Old-fashioned, respectful, sweet. Maya's heart fluttered. She got in her car and drove away, glancing in the rearview mirror. Lucas stood in the parking lot, watching her leave. She smiled all the way home. The next morning, Maya woke to a text from Lucas. Coffee this afternoon? No events, no work, just us. She typed back. Where? That little cafe on Oak Street, the one with the terrible wallpaper and great pastries. Maya laughed. She knew the place. It was casual, comfortable, not fancy at all. 3 p.m. Perfect. See you there. Maya got ready slowly. She didn't overthink her outfit. Jeans, a soft sweater, sneakers. She wanted to be comfortable. When she arrived at the cafe, Lucas was already there. He sat at a table by the window, wearing jeans and a hoodie. No suit, no tie. He looked like a regular person. He stood when she approached. You found it. I did. She sat across from him. Nice hoodie. Thanks. I own clothes besides suits. Surprising, I know. A waitress came by, and they ordered coffee and pastries. The cafe was cozy. Mismatched chairs, faded wallpaper, local art on the walls. Nothing like the hotel. This is nice, Maya said. Yeah, I come here sometimes when I need to think. It's not elegant, but it's real. I like real. They talked for an hour, about their childhoods, about their families, about the things they loved and hated. Lucas told her about growing up in the hotel, about feeling like he had to be perfect all the time. Maya told him about learning to style on a budget, about making beauty out of nothing. They laughed, they teased each other, they let down their guards. At one point, Lucas's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and declined the call. You can answer that, Maya said. It's my mother. She can wait. Maya raised an eyebrow. You sure? Positive. He set his phone face down. Right now, you're more important. It was a small gesture, but it mattered. They finished their coffee and walked outside. The sun was warm. The street was busy with afternoon traffic. Can I see you again? Lucas asked. Soon. How soon? Tomorrow. Maya laughed. You're eager. Is that a bad thing? No, she smiled. Tomorrow works. but I picked the place. Deal. They stood on the sidewalk, not quite ready to say goodbye. I'm glad you gave me a chance, Lucas said. I'm glad you earned it. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. Maya didn't. He kissed her softly, gently, like she was something precious. When they pulled apart, Maya's heart was racing. I'll see you tomorrow, she said, slightly breathless. Can't wait. She walked to her car, feeling lighter than air. That evening, Maya video-called Tessa. Tell me everything, Tessa demanded. Maya did. She told her about the dinner, about Lucas defending her to Eleanor, about the dance, about the coffee date. When she finished, Tessa was grinning. You like him, she said. Maybe. Definitely. Maya laughed. Okay, yes, I like him. And he likes you, like, really likes you. I think so. Tessa's expression softened. I'm happy for you, sis. But also, are you being careful? I don't want to see you hurt again. I'm being careful, Maya said. But I'm also being open. Because if I keep all my walls up, I'll never let anyone in, and I don't want to live like that. That's very mature of you. I learned it from my big sister. Tessa smiled. You're going to be fine. I can feel it. I hope so. After they hung up, Maya sat on her couch with a cup of tea. She thought about Lucas, about the way he looked at her, about the way he made her feel seen. It was scary, letting someone in, trusting again. But it was also exciting. For the first time in a long time, Maya felt hopeful about the future. The next day, Maya took Lucas to a community art fair. Local vendors sold handmade jewelry and paintings. Food trucks lined the street. Live music played from a small stage. It was nothing like the hotel, nothing polished or perfect, just real people doing real things. Lucas loved it. They walked through the fair, trying samples and looking at art. Lucas bought Maya a pair of earrings from a young black woman who made them by hand. These are beautiful, Maya said, holding them up to the light. They reminded me of you, Lucas said. Bold, unique, beautiful. Maya blushed. You're getting good at this. At what? Being romantic without being corny, he laughed. I'm trying. They found a bench near the stage and sat down to listen to the music. A blues band played. The singer's voice was rich and soulful. Lucas took Maya's hand. She let him. Thank you for bringing me here, he said. You're welcome. I mean it. I spend so much time in fancy rooms trying to impress people. It's nice to just be. That's what real life is, Maya said. It's not always polished. It's messy and loud and imperfect. But it's beautiful. Lucas looked at her. You're beautiful. Now that was corny. I don't care. He kissed her again, right there on the bench, with people walking by and music playing and the sun shining down. Maya kissed him back, and for the first time since the night in the red dress, she felt completely, genuinely happy. The next few days felt like a dream Maya didn't want to wake up from. Lucas texted her every morning. Good morning messages with coffee emojis. He asked about her day, shared things he found funny, sent her pictures of terrible hotel carpets with captions like, your professional opinion. She found herself smiling at her phone more than she had in years. They saw each other almost every day. Coffee dates, walks through the park, dinner at small restaurants where nobody cared who they were or what they looked like together. Lucas was different outside the hotel, lighter, more relaxed. He told bad jokes. He laughed at himself. He asked questions and actually listened to her answers. But Maya knew the real test wasn't happening yet. The real test would come when they had to face his world again, together, publicly, with no event to hide behind. That test came sooner than she expected. 5 days after the VIP dinner, Maya was at home working on a client project when her phone rang. Lucas. Hey, she answered. Hey, are you busy? Just working. What's up? Lucas hesitated. My mother is hosting a closing event tomorrow night, end of the season thing. All the hotel's major donors and partners. She asked me to come. Maya's stomach tightened. Okay. I want you to come with me. As my date. Not as a consultant, not as staff, as the woman I'm seeing. Maya set down her pen. Lucas, I know what you're thinking. And you're right to be nervous. My mother will be there. Her friends will be there. People who've known me my whole life. But I want them to know you. I want them to see us together. Because you matter to me. Maya's heart was racing. This was it. The moment where she'd find out if everything he'd said was real. What did your mother say when you told her you were bringing me? Maya asked. Lucas was quiet for a moment. She wasn't thrilled. What does that mean? It means she asked if it was serious, if I was sure, if I understood what people might think. And what did you say? I told her I didn't care what people think, that you're important to me, that she needs to accept that. Maya closed her eyes. How did she respond? She said she'd be polite, which is Eleanor speak for I'll smile while I judge you. Maya laughed despite herself. At least she's honest. So, will you come? I know it's asking a lot, but I want to do this right. I want you there. Maya thought about it. She could say no, protect herself, stay in the safe space they'd created over coffee and art fairs, or she could say yes, step back into his world, and see if he'd really choose her when it mattered most. What time? She asked. 7, I'll pick you up at 6:30. Okay. Yeah? Lucas sounded relieved, hopeful. Yeah. But Lucas? Yeah? If your mother or her friends make me feel like I don't belong, I'm leaving, and I won't come back. That won't happen, I promise. We'll see. The next evening, Maya stood in front of her closet again. This time felt different. She wasn't trying to prove anything. She wasn't making a statement. She just wanted to feel beautiful and confident. And like herself, she chose a deep emerald green dress. Simple, elegant. It hugged her curves without being too dramatic. She paired it with gold jewelry and black heels. She kept her hair natural, soft curls framing her face, minimal makeup, just enough to feel polished. When she looked in the mirror, she saw a woman who knew her worth, who didn't need anyone's approval to feel elegant. The doorbell rang at exactly 6:30. Maya grabbed her clutch and opened the door. Lucas stood there in a dark grey suit. No tie, just a white shirt unbuttoned at the collar. He looked handsome, polished, but still relaxed. His eyes widened when he saw her. Wow, he said. Too much? Maya asked. Not even close. You look incredible. You look pretty good yourself. He offered his arm. Ready? Maya took a breath. Ready. The drive to the hotel was quiet, not awkward, just nervous. Lucas kept glancing at her, like he wanted to say something, but couldn't find the words. Finally he spoke. Thank you for doing this. You already thanked me. I know, but I mean it. I know tonight won't be easy, but having you there means everything. Maya squeezed his hand. Just don't leave me alone with your mother. I won't. When they arrived, the hotel lobby was already full. Women in gowns, men in suits, champagne glasses, soft music. Everything looked perfect. Too perfect. Maya felt the familiar tightness in her chest, the weight of being watched, judged, measured against a standard she didn't create and didn't want to meet. Lucas must have sensed it. He took her hand and leaned close. You belong here, he whispered. More than anyone. She looked at him. His grey eyes were steady. Sure. Okay, she said. They walked into the lobby together. Heads turned. Conversations paused. Maya felt the stares. But this time Lucas didn't let go of her hand. He didn't step away. He didn't try to make them less visible. He walked her right through the center of the lobby, past clusters of guests toward the ballroom entrance. People whispered. Maya heard fragments. Is that Lucas? Who's she? She's stunning. Do you think Eleanor knows? Lucas didn't react. He just kept walking, proud, present. They reached the ballroom. It was the same room where Maya had worn the red dress, where this whole thing started. But tonight felt different. Tonight she wasn't proving anything. She was just being herself. And Lucas was choosing to stand beside her. Eleanor Hayes spotted them immediately. She stood near the bar, surrounded by 3 women in expensive gowns. Her expression shifted when she saw Maya. Not anger, not surprise, just careful neutrality. She excused herself from her friends and walked toward them. Lucas, she said, her voice warm but controlled. You're here. Mother. Lucas kept his arm around Maya's waist. You remember Maya Brooks? Eleanor's eyes flicked to Maya. Of course. How nice to see you again. You too, Mrs. Hayes. There was a pause. Eleanor looked at Lucas. Might I have a word with you? In private? Anything you need to say, you can say in front of Maya. Eleanor's smile tightened. Lucas, I mean it, Mother. Maya and I are here together. If you have concerns, share them now. Maya's heart pounded. She wanted to step away, to give them space, but Lucas's hand on her waist held her steady. Eleanor took a breath. When she spoke, her voice was lower, sharper. Are you sure about this? About her? People are already talking. This isn't what we discussed. We didn't discuss anything, Lucas said firmly. I told you I was bringing Maya. You said you'd be polite. So be polite. I'm trying to protect you. I don't need protection. I need you to respect my choices and to respect Maya. Eleanor looked at Maya, really looked at her, not with warmth, but not with open hostility either. Something more complicated. "This is a mistake," Eleanor said quietly. "You're risking your reputation, the hotel's reputation, for what? A fling." Maya felt the words like a slap, but before she could respond, Lucas stepped forward. "Maya isn't a fling," he said. His voice was hard now, angry. "She's the woman I'm falling in love with. And if you can't be happy for me, then at least have the decency to keep your judgment to yourself." The words hung in the air. Falling in love with. Maya's breath caught. Eleanor's face went pale. "Lucas, I'm done having this conversation." Lucas took Maya's hand. "Excuse us." He walked away, pulling Maya gently with him. They didn't stop until they reached the far side of the ballroom, near the windows overlooking the city. Maya turned to him. "Lucas, I'm sorry," he said immediately. "I'm sorry she said that. I'm sorry you had to hear it. You told her you were falling in love with me." Lucas looked at her. His expression softened. "I did. Did you mean it?" "Yes." His voice was sure, steady. "I know it's fast. I know we've only known each other a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm falling in love with you, Maya. The way you see the world, the way you don't back down, the way you make me want to be better. All of it." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. Happy tears. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Of what?" "Of trusting you. Of believing this is real. Of getting hurt again." Lucas cupped her face gently. "I can't promise I won't mess up. I probably will, but I can promise I'll keep showing up. Keep choosing you, keep trying, because you're worth it." Maya smiled through the tears. "That was really good. I've been practicing." She laughed, and then she kissed him. Right there, in the middle of the ballroom, with his mother somewhere behind them and 100 guests watching. She kissed him because he'd stood up for her, because he'd chosen her over his mother's approval, because he'd said the words she needed to hear. When they pulled apart, Lucas was smiling. "So I'm guessing you're falling for me too?" he asked. "Maybe. Just maybe?" "Okay. Definitely." He kissed her again, softer this time, sweeter. Around them, the event continued. Music played, people talked, glasses clinked. But for Maya and Lucas, the room disappeared. Later that night, after they'd danced and eaten and talked to more guests than Maya could count, they stepped outside onto the terrace. The city lights sparkled below them. The air was cool and crisp. Lucas draped his jacket over Maya's shoulders. She pulled it tight. "Thank you," she said, "for tonight, for standing up to your mother, for all of it. You don't have to thank me for doing what's right. A lot of people don't do what's right, especially when it's hard." Lucas leaned against the railing. "My mother will come around. She just needs time. And if she doesn't, then that's her choice. But it won't change mine." Maya stood beside him. "You know this won't be easy, right? People will talk. Your mother's friends, your colleagues, some of them won't approve." "I know. And you're okay with that?" Lucas turned to face her. "Maya, I spent my whole life trying to fit into other people's ideas of what I should be, who I should date, how I should look, what success should mean. And I was miserable. Not obviously, but quietly, in a way that felt like I was slowly disappearing." He took her hands. "And then you walked into my ballroom in a red dress," he continued, "and you made me feel something real, something honest. You challenged me, you pushed me, you made me grow. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm becoming the person I'm supposed to be. So yeah, I'm okay with people talking, because being with you is worth it." Maya's eyes filled with tears again. "You're going to make me cry. Is that a bad thing?" "No," she smiled. "It's a really good thing." They stood together in the quiet. The city hummed below. The stars peeked through the clouds. "Can I take you somewhere?" Lucas asked. "Away from the hotel? Away from all this?" "Where?" "My place. I make terrible pasta, but I have good wine, and no one will judge us or stare at us or whisper about us. It'll just be us." Maya looked at him, at his honest face, at the hope in his eyes. "Okay," she said. "Let's go." Lucas's apartment was nothing like Maya expected. She'd imagined something sleek and modern, expensive furniture, art that matched. Instead, it was warm, lived in, books on the shelves, mismatched throw pillows, a blanket draped over the couch, photos on the wall, family, friends, places he'd traveled. It felt like a home, not a showroom. "This is nice," Maya said, looking around. "Really, I always thought it was kind of a mess." "It's perfect. It's real." Lucas smiled. "Want some wine?" "Please." He poured 2 glasses and brought them to the couch. They sat together, close but not too close. Comfortable. "I need to tell you something," Maya said after a moment. "Okay. When I first heard what you said, about Black and Curvy not being elegant, I almost left. I almost walked out of that hotel and never came back. Lucas nodded. I wouldn't have blamed you, but something made me stay, and I'm glad I did, because the man who said those words isn't the same man sitting with me now. You've changed, really changed, and that's rare. You changed me, Lucas said simply. You made me see what I was missing, who I was hurting, and you gave me the chance to do better. I'm still scared, Maya admitted. I'm scared that one day you'll wake up and realize I'm too much work, too complicated, too different from what you're used to. Lucas set down his wine glass. He took her hands in his. Maya Brooks, he said seriously, you are not too much. You are exactly enough. You're smart and talented and beautiful and kind. You challenge me in the best way. You make me laugh. You make me think. You make me want to be the kind of man who deserves you. Lucas, I'm not done. He smiled. I know I hurt you. I know I have a lot to prove, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to choose you every day. Not because you need me to, but because I want to. Maya felt the last of her walls crumble. She leaned forward and kissed him, deeply, honestly, without holding back. Lucas kissed her back, his hands gentle on her face. When they finally pulled apart, they were both breathless. Stay, Lucas whispered. Not for anything. Just stay. Let's watch terrible movies and eat bad pasta and talk until we fall asleep. Maya smiled. Okay. Yeah. So they did. They changed into comfortable clothes. Lucas lent her a soft t-shirt and sweatpants. They made pasta that was actually pretty good. They sat on the couch with plates in their laps and watched a comedy that made them both laugh. And when Maya fell asleep against Lucas's shoulder, he pulled the blanket over her and held her close. For the first time in a long time, Maya felt safe, loved, chosen, not for what she could do, not for how she looked, but for who she was. The next morning, Maya woke up to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, she panicked. Then she remembered Lucas's apartment. Last night. Everything. She sat up slowly. Lucas was in the kitchen, making coffee. He wore sweatpants and a t-shirt. His hair was messy. He looked perfect. He turned and saw her. His face lit up. Morning, he said. Coffee? Please. He brought her a mug and sat beside her on the couch. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. I should probably go home, Maya said. Change clothes. Check in with Tessa. Okay. Lucas looked disappointed but understanding. Can I see you later? Definitely. Good. He kissed her forehead. I'll drive you. You don't have to. I want to. So he did. He drove her across the city, holding her hand the whole way. When they reached her apartment, he walked her to the door. Thank you for last night, he said, all of it. Thank you for standing up for me, for choosing me. Always. He kissed her softly. Text me when you're free. I will. Maya went inside and immediately called Tessa. Tell me everything, Tessa demanded before Maya could even say hello. So Maya did. She told her about the event, about Eleanor's coldness, about Lucas standing up to his mother, about the words he'd said, about falling asleep on his couch. When she finished, Tessa was quiet for a long moment. Maya, she said softly, I think this is it. I think he's the one. You think? I know. The way you talk about him, the way he shows up for you. That's real love, sis. The kind that lasts. Maya felt tears well up. I'm falling in love with him. I know you are. And that's beautiful. I'm scared. That's normal. But don't let fear stop you from being happy. You deserve this. You deserve someone who chooses you. Every single day. Maya wiped her eyes. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. You just never listened. They both laughed. After they hung up, Maya sat on her couch with her coffee. She thought about Lucas, about the way he looked at her, about the life they could build together. It was terrifying and wonderful and real. Her phone buzzed. A text from Lucas. I miss you already. Too soon to say that. She smiled and typed back. Not too soon. I miss you too. Dinner tonight? My place? I promise to make better pasta. It's a date. Over the next few weeks, Maya and Lucas fell into a rhythm. They saw each other almost every day, sometimes at the hotel, where Maya consulted on events, sometimes at her place or his, sometimes at random coffee shops or parks or art fairs. They learned each other's routines, their quirks, their dreams. Lucas learned that Maya hated mornings, but loved sunrise, that she cried at sappy commercials, that she sang in the shower, that she was fiercely loyal to her sister and her clients. Maya learned that Lucas was terrible at cooking, but great at cleaning, that he read poetry before bed. That he worried too much about what people thought but was working on it, that he loved her more every day. Eleanor slowly came around. She was never warm, but she was polite. She asked Maya about her work. She complimented her style. She stopped making comments about what people might think. It wasn't friendship, but it was progress. One evening, 3 weeks after the closing event, Lucas showed up at Maya's apartment with flowers and a nervous expression. "What's wrong?" Maya asked, letting him in. "Nothing's wrong, He set the flowers on her counter. "I wanted to ask you something." "Okay." Lucas took her hands. "I know we've only been together a short time, but I also know that what I feel for you is real. It's not going away, it's only getting stronger." Maya's heart started racing. "I want this to be official," Lucas continued. "I want everyone to know you're mine and I'm yours. I want to build a life with you. So," he took a breath, "will you be my girlfriend officially?" Maya laughed, relief and joy flooding through her. "I thought I already was." "I know, but I wanted to ask properly, without a hotel or an event or my mother nearby. Just us." Maya stepped closer. She wrapped her arms around his neck. "Yes," she said, "I'll officially be your girlfriend." Lucas grinned and kissed her, deeply, happily. When they pulled apart, he was smiling so wide it looked like it hurt. "I love you," he said. "I know it's fast, but I do. I love you, Maya Brooks." Maya felt her eyes fill with tears, happy tears. "I love you too," she whispered. "I really do." They stood in her small kitchen, holding each other, and everything felt right. All the hurt, all the fear, all the doubt. It had led them here, to this moment, to each other. Maya thought about the first night, about hearing those words in the hallway, about the red dress, about walking into that ballroom and refusing to shrink. She'd been terrified, angry, hurt, but she'd also been brave, and that bravery had brought her here, to a man who loved her for exactly who she was, who chose her, every day, in public and in private, when it was easy and when it was hard. That's what real elegance was, Maya realized. Not the dress you wore or the room you walked into. It was knowing your worth, refusing to settle, and finding someone who saw you, really saw you, and loved what they found. "What are you thinking about?" Lucas asked, still holding her. "How far we've come," Maya said, "from that first night to now." "Best decision I ever made," Lucas said, "apologizing to you, asking you to work with me, falling in love with you. Best decision I ever made was wearing that red dress." Lucas laughed. "I'll never forget that moment. When you walked into the ballroom and I realized you'd heard me, I wanted to disappear." "Good. You deserved to squirm." "I did." He kissed her forehead. "But I'm grateful, because you could have walked away. You could have written me off, but you gave me a chance to grow, to change, to be better." "You did the work," Maya said. "I just pushed you in the right direction. We make a good team. We really do." They ordered takeout and spent the evening curled up on Maya's couch, talking about the future, about the events they'd planned together, about trips they wanted to take, about meeting each other's extended families, about all the small, beautiful moments that made a life. And when Lucas left that night, Maya stood in her doorway watching him go, her heart full. She thought about calling Tessa, about texting Paige, about sharing this happiness with everyone she loved. But for now, she just wanted to hold it, to feel it, to let it settle in her chest like warmth. She'd walked into that hotel weeks ago carrying a garment bag and a lifetime of hurt. She'd heard words designed to make her feel small, to put her in her place. But instead of shrinking, she'd grown. She'd stood tall. She'd demanded respect. And she'd found love. Real, honest, beautiful love. Maya closed her door and leaned against it, smiling. She thought about the red dress still hanging in her closet, a reminder of the night that changed everything. She didn't need it anymore. She didn't need to prove her elegance to anyone, because she knew it, she felt it, she lived it, every single day. And that was enough. 6 months later, Maya stood in the hotel ballroom, clipboard in hand, directing a team of decorators. The space was being transformed for a spring gala. Soft pinks and greens, fresh flowers everywhere, natural light streaming through the windows. Lucas appeared at her side, 2 cups of coffee in hand. "For you," he said, handing her one. "You're a lifesaver." "I know." He kissed her cheek. "How's it looking?" "Perfect. Almost. Almost. The centerpieces need to be 3 inches lower. And we need more candles on the back tables." Lucas nodded and made notes on his tablet. They'd been working together officially for 4 months now. Maya Brooks Consulting had 3 hotel contracts and a waiting list of private clients. Lucas had changed the hotel's event standards to include diverse body types, bolder colors, and elegance that welcomes in their mission statement. Together, they'd created something beautiful, something inclusive, something that felt right. "My mother wants us to come to dinner next week," Lucas said casually. Maya looked at him. "Really?" "Yeah. She asked specifically for you. Said she wants to get to know you better." "And you believe her?" "I think she's trying. That's all I can ask." Maya considered. Eleanor had been civil over the past months. Kind, even. But there was still distance. Still careful politeness. "Okay," Maya said, "but if she mentions anything about my dress size or my hair or—" "She won't. I already had that conversation with her. Multiple times." Maya smiled. "You're a good man, Lucas Hayes." "I try." He slipped his arm around her waist. "So, question. What would you think about moving in together?" Maya's heart skipped. "Seriously?" "Yeah, I mean, you're at my place half the week anyway, and I'm at yours the other half. We could find a new place, something that's ours, or you could move into mine and we'd redecorate. Whatever you want." Maya looked at him, at his hopeful face, at the life they'd been building together piece by piece. "I'd like that," she said softly. "A lot." Lucas's face broke into a huge grin. He picked her up and spun her around right there in the middle of the ballroom. "Lucas!" Maya laughed. "Put me down!" "Not yet." He set her down gently and kissed her. "I love you. I love you too." Paige appeared in the doorway, grinning. "You two are disgustingly cute, just so you know." "Thank you," they said in unison. Paige laughed. "Maya, your 2 o'clock client is here." "Perfect. Send her to the consult room. I'll be right there." Paige left. Maya turned back to Lucas. "I have to go work." "I know." He kissed her once more. "Dinner tonight? Your place or mine?" "Ours. Eventually." Maya smiled. "Ours." "I like the sound of that." She walked toward the consult room, her heart full, her mind already planning, thinking about furniture and wall colors and all the small details that would make a house a home. Their home. When she reached the doorway, she turned back. Lucas was watching her, that soft look on his face, the one that said, "You're everything to me." She blew him a kiss. He caught it and pressed his hand to his heart. And Maya knew, really knew, that this was it. This was the real thing, the forever thing. It had started with hurt, with anger, with a red dress and a moment of courage, but it had become something more, something beautiful, love that was chosen, every day, in big ways and small, love that was honest, real, lasting. Maya Brooks walked into that consult room with her head high and her heart full, knowing that she had everything she'd ever wanted, not because someone gave it to her, but because she'd claimed it for herself. Elegance, love, respect, joy, all of it, and she would never let anyone make her feel small again, because she was enough, more than enough. She always had been. The end.